Welcome back to the channel, Crypto Trend Trader here. Today we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin, but before we get started, I'd like to remind you it's not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. These markets are extremely volatile, so please do your own research and trade responsibly. So here we have the Bitcoin chart. I'm looking at Coinbase right now, and I'm basically looking at this situation, and people are starting to get bullish again, and I'm looking at it as a potential reversal point. But when I look at the price action right here, what it looks like happened is it looks like we're in an uptrend. We moved. This was a strong consolidation point. This was a strong consolidation point through here. And when we were on top of this, it was support through here. And when we broke down below it, it's active resistance. And we've not been able to get back above it. Now here we are at that exact same point again. So that's my first point is we broke down below key support and now it's acting as resistance. Alright, so now I'm going to pull up some drawing tools here and we're going to look at, we were basically in this triangle, broke down from the triangle, could not get back above the breakdown point. Then inside that triangle, we were basically in this channel going downward the whole time. Same thing happened again. We couldn't get above it. We sold back off, came down to a new low, and now that's where we're at. We can't get back above that point right there. So now I'm going to pull up the indicator, and before I do that, I want to point out a couple specific points where there were key levels to short this market. Basically like the top, which is the hardest one. But I want to just go straight down the line here, not being biased at all, and just showing key areas that you could have placed a short in and done extremely well. And there's a lot of other areas throughout here you could have placed a short in. And now, matter of fact, I'm going to take that one off for right now. So now what I want to do is pull up the indicator. We want to focus on the jewel thief right now. And you'll notice as we get these red signals on here, that's our key area we could enter the short at. You'll see those areas here, right? Some are not necessarily the best place to short, but typically where we start getting that heavy red is where we're getting our best shorting opportunities off that heavy red zones. And now here we are right here again in the heavy red zone, and the best places of all these are all at the top of that channel to take that short. So now here we are, two things lining up. The top of the channel, the heavy red on the TJD jewel. We're getting the heaviest red we've seen since the last good opportunity to take a short, which was basically at the heart line of the channel. And then we got the breakdown from there. So now here we are right here, potentially, getting ready to break down, with essentially from the top of the channel move right here. Even if we just retest the low, we're looking at 16% down. But the sky is the limit. If we just stay inside this channel and then test down to the next, key fib level, it's 27%. So looks like to me a good place to enter shorts. It is possible that we do break to the upside right here, outside of the channel, and then break trend and potentially start moving back to upside, taking out the previous highs, reverse the trend. It's definitely possible, and I hope that happens. But as far as trader and statistics and basically like technical analysis, I got to take the short here. So I'm going to be taking a nice size position short to the downside here. It's not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. These markets are extremely volatile, so please do your own research and trade responsibly. It's no meant for you to take a position off of what I'm saying. I'm just being honest with you in this situation, and not doing like everybody else says and telling you what I would have done after it happens. I'm telling you before I do it. So, and here we are. We got the 377 basically started to reject us, so we could potentially get that move the rest of the way up to the 377, or even up as high as the 528. But I mean, at this point in time, let's just switch over to the daily and look at it. At this point in time, it looks like we basically got that move up and, got that strong rejection. If we get the close above here, maybe that changes my mind. If we get it above 75.50, and then I think we get continuation up to like that 7,800 range, more likely. We could take that step by step. But the most likely thing that's going to happen is what we said way back when. We get that sell off back down, get the sell off again, put in the other shoulder, get the move up for the inverted head and shoulders, and then it fails. We fail to break out to the upside, and we sell back off. Find this as resistance. The SR flip is complete, and we get continuation to a lower point. Some of the indicators, oscillators are telling us a different story, but in this situation, I'm going to trust my technical analysis. I'm going to trust my, indicators and basically my instincts. And, I'm going to start basically laddering into building a position to the downside, rebuilding a position to the downside from this area with expectations that we are going to get continuation to much lower prices. So, that's it. Crypto Trend Trader, quick market update. I just want to be honest with you guys and let you know I'm planning on entering my short position from this point on throughout this area, and I'm expecting, essentially like 15 to 25% moves to the downside at least. And if we do get like continuation to the upside and breakout, of this long-term downtrend that we've been consolidating in now for basically a year. I mean, if we basically break out of this descending channel, I'd be extremely bullish and expect like much higher prices. But as far as I'm concerned right now, if we zoom out to like the extremely like long time frames, you'll see that this dotted white line that was the bottom of our multiple market cycles is, again, right here, and it should be acting as a bottom. We should be getting that support and moving up from it. But instead, we've broken down underneath it. And now, if you look at the shorter time frames, and again, this chart's very busy, especially with those little new arrows we just added in. But if you look right here, we broke down below it. We were struggling to get back above it, and now it's been acting as resistance. So what I expect is going to happen here, we basically, I meant to mention this earlier too on the fibs, and I didn't. I'm glad I thought of it. When we came up here and then we sold back off, we were able to come all the way back up to the 886, and then we sold back off again and came down. And now this time, from this high down to here, we came all the way up to the 886, and that's exactly where we tagged right before we started selling off, and we sold off down to the 786. So we could potentially be getting ready to sell off like back down to this region right here, like 7,200 range, and then find support and get that big move, and then see if we're going to break out and this is going to hold to the upside. That's probably what's most likely to happen right now is get that test down here, keep moving up on the support, and then potentially get that breakout or the rejection. But at this point in time, this is our like pivot. I think like this is our trade setup area. Whether you're saying to the upside or to the downside, like this is the spot. If it's the upside, it's basically like endless possibilities. If it's going to be to the downside, we just talked about it. It's basically like a 3 or 5 to 1. Depending on your targets as well as your stop loss. But again, I think this is an extremely good place to be managing risk off of based on like support, resistance, moving averages. There's a ton of great stuff, here, and this is a key point in the market. This is essentially what we've been waiting for. And, sometime in probably like the next like week or two, we're going to get confirmation of this big swing in one direction or the other. And, we're going to get to sit back and just ride the wave after that. So, if you're listening to this right now and you're paying attention to the market, I'm sure you're going to be on the right side of the trade when it happens, and you'll be there to reap the benefits. But before I get out of here, I did just want to mention, we do hold a large position in silver, and have been accumulating, some gold as well, throughout this downtrend. And now here we are. Silver is breaking to the upside. This was a trade setup that we had put out here earlier in this year with the big move up here previously. And we had even said that we were expecting to get continuation back down off of the 200. And now what are we doing? We're getting the golden cross between the 50 and 200 moving average on the weekly. For the first time in, this was back in 2009. So it's 2020 now, so 11 years ago, we got a golden cross. And that golden cross lasted for 2009 we said to 2011. So that was a 2-year bull market. And 2-year bull market, and keep in mind this is metal. That was a 271%. And I think it's even more than that for gold. I want to say for gold it was 10-year bull market. I may be saying that wrong. Hang on, let me take a look. Yeah, gold got its golden cross way back here. This was back in '02, and it peaked out at 580%, and that was 10 years later. So, and gold just got its golden cross. On the weekly, we were talking about that. It got the break above and then came back down to retest. And, it had done that a couple times. So we were saying if we'd see if it would hold this time. And now here it did. It held, got the big move up, came back down, found support. And now it's, breaking out to the upside again. And at this point in time, it looks like it's going to come back up here to the 1750, 1800 range and probably go to new all-time highs to the American dollar. It's already all-time highs to a lot of other currencies around the world. So at this point in time, it seems like it's imminent. So, but anyway, just wanted to mention some of the other markets as well. Crypto Trend Trader, quick update on Bitcoin and some precious metals. Thanks, guys, for the daily support on all the videos. Coming back with all the likes, subscriptions, and comments as well. So, Crypto Trend Trader, and I'm signing off.